What's going on, guys? It's your boy Point here, and welcome to something I have not done in a while, and that is a Sonic video. Yep, just like me, to abandon the franchise that gave my channel a fucking audience in the first place. So some of you may be wondering, why go back to Sonic now? Well, the reason is because, well, I just found out that apparently, recently, there were new bios put up for a bunch of Sonic characters, and I had no idea about this. Apparently this has been causing controversy on Twitter, because what the fuck doesn't cause controversy on Sonic Twitter nowadays? And I was completely out of the loop on it, because I have been off Twitter for quite a while now. So I decided it would be a fun idea for me, as someone who's been a long-time Sonic fan, a lifelong Sonic fan, to come in, read these bios, and sort of see what's up, see why they're so controversial, and see, you know, just what I think of them, whether I disagree with them, and all that kind of stuff. So from what I can see here... we have Sonic, Amy, okay, this is in a weird order. Sonic, Amy, Tails, Knuckles, Eggman, Blaze, Cream, Shadow, Rouge, Omega, and Silver. This is in a very, very weird order, but let's just start with Sonic. I don't know if we're necessarily going to go in the order they have it here, but, well, it starts with Sonic, so we'll go with Sonic first. So the bio states, Sonic is the living embodiment of being free as the wind. He's the fastest thing alive. He spends most of his days exploring the world, experiencing its thrills, and finding new challenges. When he isn't sprinting around at top speed, you'll likely find him savoring a chili dog while relaxing in nature. Okay, so far so good. Sonic is an inspiration to everyone he meets. He gives his friends the courage to be their best selves, and even his fiercest rivals and enemies can't help but respect his unstoppable will. While Sonic doesn't play by anyone's rules, he'll always come to the aid of those in need to assure they can live as free and happy as he does. Okay, right. That's actually not that bad. So far, I actually think that's pretty accurate. Like, to me, that is, like, pretty much exactly how I would describe Sonic's personality. He plays by his own rules. He's very open and free. He's pretty much always running around or eating a chili dog. And he's an inspiration to everybody around him. Like that, to me, that is Sonic. To me, that is Sonic's character. So far, I don't see why this is causing problems. I think this is actually pretty bang on so far. Let's see. Who will do? We'll do Tails next. Okay, Miles Tails Prower. Tails is a young fox just coming into his own and discovering his full potential. He's a genius mechanic and inventor, as well as a swift and experienced adventurer. He's also an ace pilot with a garage, we say garage over here, not garage, full of Tornado Series planes. How many fucking tornadoes does Tails have at this point? Okay, that aside, this is actually pretty good so far. Once a timid boy, Tails was ashamed of how his twin tails made him different, but Sonic helped him realize that this difference also gave him amazing abilities. He can use his tails to fly, propelling him across land and even water. Now Sonic's best friend and partner in adventure, he's grown a lot since those early days. Taking inspiration from Sonic, Tails now aspires to be a hero in his own right. So once again, that's pretty on point. Like that describes Tails pretty much perfectly. Like, there's even some stuff at the end, like wanting to become a hero in his own right, which is kind of new from Frontiers. But, like, with the exception of some games, like maybe Lost World and Forces, which don't really get Tails' character down, I guess it doesn't really fit those, but those were more exceptions to the rule than the rule itself. Aside from that, I actually think that's a really, really good bio for Tails. So again, so far, so good. We'll do Knuckles next. I think Knuckles makes sense to do next. Knuckles is the guardian of the Master Emerald, a powerful gemstone tied to the history of the world. He also safeguards its home, Angel Island, a flying island paradise. Don't know if I call it a paradise, but okay. He traverses the Earth's varied and wild environments with incredible speed and impressive gliding techniques, while his stunning strength allows him to climb over and bust through any obstacle. Okay, halfway through and we're already pretty decent. Knuckles is a serious and straightforward warrior, which often leads to friction with Sonic's witty, casual way of life. The two of them are staunch rivals, but with a deep mutual respect for each other. Over time and countless adventures, Knuckles has come to open up a little and trust in the friends he's met through Sonic. And while he isn't a warm, fuzzy type, he'll defend his friends with ferocious determination. Got through it pretty well. For those of you who don't know, I'm autistic, and I think I might be slightly dyslexic, so I'm not great with reading. But yeah, okay, I think that's actually pretty good. So I don't really have that much to say on that one, so I guess we'll just move right on. We'll do Amy next. I think Amy makes the most sense to do next. Now, from what I understand, I don't know which ones in particular are causing issues, but I know The one I do know people are arguing a little bit about is Amy's. I know Amy's is a little bit controversial, so I'm probably going to have to actually talk about this one. But so far, these have all been really good, so I guess we'll see what happens with Amy's here. Amy is a spirited and athletic adventurer out to share her boundless love with the world. She wields her signature Pico Pico hammer with incredible strength and grace to defend those in need. Amy first met Sonic by following the guidance of her fortune cards. They're called tarot cards, but okay. Unfortunately, the cards didn't tell her about Metal Sonic. Or did they? What? Okay. Ever since, she's pushed herself to grow as an adventurer in order to bring love and peace to the world. She may not be chasing after Sonic anymore, but he's still number one in her heart. Okay, so to me, this bio is perfect. This is pretty much Amy's character to a T, especially after Frontiers. After Frontiers, it definitely describes her character perfectly. Now, from what I understand, this is the one that I did do a little bit of research on. From what I understand, people's problem here is that they don't think that her crush on Sonic is enough of a part of her character anymore, because for those who played the adventure games, that was pretty much the biggest part. It was never her only character. It was never her only character trait, but for the longest time, it was pretty much the thing that defined her as a character. And a lot of people are arguing over whether or not it's a good thing that this is kind of starting to be put into the background. But in my opinion, it's very much a good thing, because for a long time, people fucking hated Amy. Like, she was like one of the most hated characters in the franchise. So for Sega to be, minimizing, but not completely getting rid of, like it says right here, she may not be chasing after Sonic anymore, but he's still number one in her heart. So it's still there, and it's still very much a part of her character. Even in the IDW comics, where they're basically just turning Amy into Sally at this point, you can definitely still see remnants of that still in there. The best way I can really think to describe it, and a lot of my audience might not get half of this comparison, but it's the best comparison I can think to make, is that Amy's gone from being like Rise in Persona 4, where she is just fucking fetish-side obsessed with this one character and constantly making it apparent 24/7, to being more like Ochako from My Hero Academia, where, yes, her crush on a specific character, in Ochako's case Deku, in Amy's case Sonic, is indeed a part of her character, and it does play a role in her character, but she has other things going on. It's not her major thing, because with Ochako, yeah, her crush on Deku is a part of her character, but there's so much more to her character. She has her own hopes, aspirations, her own storylines going on, her own rival that's not involved with Deku at all. And Amy is a lot more like that now. Where back in the day, like I said, she was a lot more like Rise, where she was just kind of there to show, haha, the main character is really, really popular, blah, 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 that kind of thing. And I think that's a very, very positive I think that's a very, very positive development. Because don't get me wrong, I love Rise. Rise is a great character in Persona 4, but Rise in Persona 4 is even a more interesting character than Amy was back then. Like, don't get me wrong, Amy was an interesting character in the adventure games, but she can come off really one-note at times, so I definitely think this is a good development. And, like, when I'm comparing her to a character like Ochako, you know it's good, because Ochako's like one of my favorite My Hero characters, so that's a good comparison. That's a good comparison to have. So, in my opinion, this is great. Okay, next up we'll do Eggman. After Eggman, then we'll move on to some, I wouldn't call it all of these guys more side characters, but let's be honest. These first five here are basically the main cast. Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik is an unparalleled mechanic and genius. His dream is to conquer the world and reshape it in his image. To that end, he builds sprawling armies of robots with vast fleets of warships. This means he needs a lot of energy to fuel his conquest, so he's often hunting down the Chaos Emeralds or other sources of arcane power. So far, so good. That's pretty much Eggman. Sonic used to tease him with the nickname Eggman, so the Doctor took it for himself and made it his own. What once was a point of mockery is now his signature brand, and many people fear the might of the Eggman Empire. While Sonic is his bitter enemy, Dr. Eggman can't help but respect his incredible skill and spirit. Likewise, Sonic genuinely respects the Doctor's tenacity, although he wishes he'd use his genius for good. Again, that is pretty much Eggman. Like, I don't really know what else to say about that one. That is pretty fucking accurate to who Eggman is as a character. So far, I'm not really seeing many issues with these. We'll do Shadow next, because Shadow is like, out of all these other characters, he's definitely the most important, so we'll do Shadow. And for those who don't know, Shadow is my favorite Sonic character, so if I'm going to have a problem with any of them, it's probably going to be this one, so I guess we'll see. Shadow is known as the ultimate life form. He was created by Professor Gerald Robotnik, Dr. Eggman's grandfather, as part of a complex conspiracy involving the military and some ravenous aliens. Shadow has incredible speed, ferocious strength, and a rare ability called Chaos Control. By utilizing the power of the Chaos Emerald, he can stop time and appear to warp to a new position instantaneously. Shadow's always on the prowl for dangers to the world. While he has no love for it or its people, they were cherished by his one friend, the late Maria Robotnik, Dr. Eggman's cousin. He protects Earth in honor of her memory, willing to do anything and fight anyone to ensure no one threatens the world Maria cherished. While Shadow prefers to be alone, he allows himself to trust the occasional support of Rouge and Omega. They are the only ones he can count on for help that won't question his methods. Okay, so far, this is definitely the one I have the biggest problem with. It's not... Ooh. Okay, so with this one, it's not as bad as I was expecting it to be. If any of them were going to be bad, I was 100% expecting it to be Shadow's, because the way Shadow's been written in recent media has been awful. I feel like most people are aware of that. And while this definitely shows parts of that with the whole, he prefers to be alone and he has no love for the world, they're really just trying to paint him as this edgy Vegeta type fucking asshole. And I'm not the biggest fan of that, considering that's never who Shadow's character was. It does hit home some stuff that really is important to Shadow, like his relationship with Maria, his relationship with Rouge and Omega, his backstory with the Archangel Robotnik. It does get all that stuff down, but when it comes to his actual personality, I'm not the biggest fan with how it's handled. So I imagine this one is probably one of the more controversial ones, and I can definitely see why. As someone who absolutely loves Shadow is, as I say, he's my favorite Sonic character. So yeah, this one I'm a little less than thrilled with, but it definitely could have been worse, that's for sure. Okay, we'll start it with Shadow. I might as well finish off the rest of Team Dark while we're at it. Rouge is a truly skilled and tenacious Jill of all trades. She's an expert spy, adept flyer, an accomplished jewel thief, a trained fighter, and even wields custom demolitions. Some people just have it all. Okay, well, first off, I've never heard the phrase Jill of all trade before, and also wields custom demolitions is really fucking confusing, but I mean, so far this does seem like Rouge, so I guess it's not all bad. Rouge doesn't play favorites, and will happily work for anyone so long as it gets her what she wants. Her cunning and wit make it hard to tell when she's being coy and when she's really acting as a double agent. Her sincerest bond is with Shadow, whom she earnestly respects and supports. Rouge knows she can count on Shadow when she needs him and that he won't question her motivations. Okay, yeah, that's pretty accurate to who Rouge is. It says like shit like fucking doesn't play favorites and will work for anyone. I feel like that's not really who Rouge has been for a long time, so this is definitely a little bit dodgy, but I don't hate this one nearly as much as I hate Shadow. Shadow's had a lot more problems with it than this did, because it says she doesn't play favorites, but she was literally part of the Resistance in Sonic Forces, and it's like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but as I say, it's definitely a lot better than Shadow's. Let's just do Omega's next. Omega is the last in the E100 series, powerful battle robots built by Dr. Eggman. Omega is a walking arsenal with all manner of lasers, missiles, and incendiary? Okay, I'm probably butchering that. Devices hidden in his bulky frame. He can't shoot down or blow it up. If he can't shoot it down or blow it up, he can rend it asunder with his razor-sharp claws and immense strength. Okay, a lot of that was worded really weirdly, but I guess it's just kind of I guess the first paragraph was just kind of tell you how powerful he is as a robot, which I guess that makes sense. Omega felt like he was being devalued by Dr. Eggman, and so he rebelled. Now his single-minded objective is to destroy all of Dr. Eggman's creations to prove his creator that he is the strongest, before finishing off the Doctor himself. While there isn't anyone who would call him a friend, he shares a grim rapport with Shadow and Rouge. He knows he can trust them to support his violent campaign without trying to hold him back. Okay, I guess Team Dark in general just didn't have great bios, because it says like he doesn't have anyone that would call him a friend. Anyone who's played Sonic 06 knows that is fucking bullshit. Like, the bond between the members of Team Dark is really strong in Sonic 06, and that's like one of the best parts of the entire game. Anyone who's watched my point by point on Sonic 06 knows that. So yeah, again, not real. This was definitely still better than Shadows, but it's worse than Rouge's. Like, the Team Dark characters, theirs are pretty dodgy, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really liked any of theirs so far. Okay, so the last ones we have are Silver, Blaze, and Cream. I guess we'll start with Blaze. If we're going by the Sonic Heroes thing, I guess we start with the speed character, so I guess Blaze makes the most sense. Not to mention, well, actually, I was gonna say she was introduced first, but that would technically be Cream, but We'll start with Blaze anyway. Blaze hails from a parallel dimension. There, she is the Imperial Princess of the Soul Empire and Guardian of the 7 Soul Emeralds. She defends and protects it, all with a stoic dutifulness. Is dutifulness a word? And overwhelming fiery power. I thought that was said something like fiercely, and that's definitely not a word, but fiery power. She is swift and decisive and shows little mercy to those who would bring harm to her people. Blaze's fearsome power and station left her with very few friends until a fateful encounter with Sonic changed her life. Thanks to Sonic and his network of friends, Blaze found a community that accepted and cherished her. Now, with the power of the Soul Emerald, she can freely visit Sonic's dimension and be with her new companions. Okay, that was decent. I mean, yeah, I don't really have that much to say about that. That is pretty much just Blaze, isn't it? Yeah, I don't really have that much to say about that one. Like, it didn't go as deep as I would want it to, but that is pretty much all accurate, so I'm fine with that one. Next up, we're doing Cream and Cheese. I'm just glad these two actually got one, because it feels like people forget these two exist nowadays. Cream the Rabbit is a young girl with a huge heart who's eager to help those in need, even though she needs help herself from time to time. Always by her side is Cheese the Chow. Her stalwart companion, I can't read, shut up. Her stalwart companion, Cheese, is constantly looking out for Cream and is ready to defend her at a moment's notice. Cream was raised to be very polite and proper by her mother, Vanilla. This makes her stand out amongst the casual and energetic crowd Sonic normally hangs out with. She loves helping her mother raise and care for the Chow, living in their prosperous Chow garden, but when opportunity arises, Cream gleefully joins the others and provides support by flying with her massive ears. Okay, again, pretty much on point. There's not really much I can really add here. That is pretty much just a decent Cream bio, so I ain't really got much to add here. Silver's, this'll be very interesting. Silver is a young aspiring hero from 200 years in the future. He commands powerful psychokinesis, which allows him to manipulate objects with his mind, fly through the air, and even teleport short distances. While he means well, his naivety can sometimes lead him astray. Blaze does not fucking hold back with letting him know that. Silver's time period was once ravaged and ruined, but together with Sonic, Blaze, and the others, he helped to restore its blue skies and peaceful days, even if he can't remember now. Okay, so they just casually acknowledge 06, okay. These days, he travels to Sonic's time via mysterious portals that appear when things in the past go awry. He's dedicated to doing whatever it takes to ensure the future remains peaceful and prosperous. Okay, the whole mysterious portals thing is kind of weird, but aside from that, I actually think most of these are pretty good. Like I say, the Team Dark ones are a little bit dodgy, particularly Shadows and Omegas. But aside from that, these are all fine. Sonic's is really good. Tails, Knuckles ones are pretty on point. Amy's one, well, I know it did cause a little bit of controversy. I think it's fine. I think it describes her personality perfect. Eggman's is on point. The ones for Blaze, Silver, and Cream are on point. I'd say the only ones that I really have a problem with are the Team Dark ones, but Team Dark have been flanderized to fucking, like, the more recent stories anyway, so I can't really say I'm really all that surprised. So while it's not perfect by any means, this is definitely a lot better than a lot of people are making it out to be, so yeah, I guess, like usual, the Sonic fanbase is just over-exaggerating everything. So anyway, that's all I have to say on this. If you have an opinion of your own, be sure to let me know in the comments. And I guess that's all I wanted to say, so peace.